if you're looking for more Giants talk, and we just had Dave Fleming on, Voice of the Giants, last segment, so you can find all of that on YouTube or the Odyssey app. You can also find more Giants talk with the Garlic Fries and Baseball Guys podcast. Sam Lubman right here with me and Joe Shasky, the Morning Roast, bring you the best damn Giants talk in the Bay Area all season long. Here, in-depth analysis and insights, as well as exclusive interviews with players like a Tyler Rogers, like a Mike Yastrzemski, like a Matt Chapman. New episode available now. Subscribe today on iTunes, Spotify, and the free Odyssey app. So, Sam, great stuff there at the Giants. We can pivot back to them a little bit later if we would like. But I know the Klay Thompson stuff, which is the top of everyone's mind right now. And yes, we are on Lauri Markkanen watch. Where will he go? Where will he not go? I feel like I have the 24 tish, tish, tish TikTok sound in my head right now. Shout out Jack Bauer, a great American as well, as we celebrate great Americans in history. Klay Thompson moving on from the Golden State Warriors. There's so many different angles that we've touched upon. Lacob and him having golf, the Warriors not, playing hardball with him, really just letting him kind of feel the way he wants and just kind of moving past him. But I did think last year, and we saw a lot of it in the last couple seasons, to be honest, something turned. Like the fans, a certain segment of them, and I don't speak for all of them, but a certain segment of fans turned on Klay Thompson. And whether it was on social media, whether it was because of the shot selections, I don't know what it was. But he kept drawing the fans' ire more so than any other kind of big player and a statue kind of a guy, a statue potential guy that I've seen in a sporting team for a very long time. Klay Thompson, I don't know what happened between him and the fan base, whether it was the injuries, whether it was just Klay's always been a chucker. That's the thing. He's kind of been streaky throughout his career, but more so than ever the last 2 seasons, correct me if I'm wrong, the fans just kind of were fed up with him, a chunk of them anyway, Sam, and I'm just trying to figure out why. Why is that?
Well, I would say pretty much I'm trying to do show tweets while also doing the show.
Oh,
here.
Look at you. You're doing the show within the show.
I'm producing while talking. Gotta let them know we're live and local. When did it turn? I mean, he was always a chucker, yeah, but the shots went in more back then.
Is that what it is?
But here's the we're talking about, what do we need our independence from? We need our independence from social media. Mm. It's got to the point where it's just like, if all of it, as I'm in the middle of the show trying to send a tweet out. I got, YouTube up in front of me. There's the Facebooks, there's the TikToks, there's the Instagram stuff. Exactly.
Twitter.
Stuff. It's just, there's too much. It's gotten to the point where, there's this whole hullabaloo about, the ban on TikTok here in America and whether that's going to go down or not. Don't do that. Don't do that. Honestly, it's not doing enough. Ban all the social media at this point. If all the social media imploded tomorrow and disappeared, I'm ready for it. And I say be careful. And I say that as someone who, unfortunately, a big part of my life is using social media.
Are we going back to newspapers? What are we doing?
It's just the discourse on the social media has become it's too ugly. It's too toxic. And it's too loud
button,
now.
By the way, Sam, there's a mute button. You can mute all that. You can block out the noise.
And here's the thing. I mean, you can do that. It is easier said than done. I try to block out as much as I can.
Block for guys in a couple months.
But for oh God, for a guy like Klay Thompson though, where how much it hits him, how much the outside criticism can kind of get into him, and fans kind of know this. I always kind of wonder if when the fan base at large, sniffs that blood, they just go harder. When they can see that the discourse starts to wear on Klay, it almost creates this snowball effect where discourse, Klay struggles, more discourse, more Klay struggles. And you have this death loop that kind of develops here. And it's just the way fans acted and treated Klay through all of this, it was kind of gross, to be honest.
And I'm not a Warriors fan. I am an outside observer with all this. I'm not biased in any way. I just call it like I see it. The fact that he was getting most of the fans' anger a lot of the time during the losses was just dumbfounding to me. I mean, here's a guy on the team, his teammate Draymond Green, who missed damn near a quarter of the season because he couldn't control his on-court emotion. Another guy on the team, one Andrew Wiggins. Where the hell has he been? He's been on a milk carton since that finals run. I don't know what he's been doing. And I'm not talking about off the court stuff. He's not personal. I'm talking about on the court. He goes in and out, man. He's like Wi-Fi in this building, and specifically on our computers right now. He's going in and out. I don't know what to expect from him. Oh, he'll have a game. Oh, he's back. You can't trade Andrew Wiggins. Oh, they'll have another game. Oh, maybe we need to trade him. Like, those are the guys I look at before I look at Klay Thompson. And Klay, say what you will about him, guy cares a lot. I can see it. It wears on him. If you've read any of these pieces, whether it was Marcus Thompson's, who dropped a very fabulously written article this morning on The Athletic, cares so much. The mental and the physical is just weighing on this guy. You saw it the last couple of years. And yeah, he was chucking because that's all he has done. And he believes so highly in his shot. And why shouldn't he? He's the second greatest shooter in the history of the sport. And the greatest shooter was also his teammate in Stephen Curry. So yes, he should have confidence in his shot. And you know what? God love him, because I would rather him shoot that 3-point ball than Andrew Wiggins, who would, what was he putting up this year? Career lows and everything. He doesn't even want to shoot. So yeah, I credit Klay Thompson.
Play there at times.
Well, exactly. We were questioning how much he even wanted to play the game of basketball. Draymond Green, God love it, he's not known for his shooting prowess. So someone had to shoot the ball outside of Stephen Curry. You don't have Jordan Poole anymore.
I was about to say, it would have been nice to have him in the building.
You got rid of him because your teammate, again, Draymond Green, punched him in the face. You couldn't bring him back. That was unsalvageable. So I just don't understand why fans were so fed up with Klay Thompson. If you're one of those fans that was, I want to hear from you. 888-957-9570. I just don't get why he was enemy number one a lot last season from the fan base. I just don't get it. Let's hear real quick, Sam.
Oh, no, let's go to
We got a caller. Bobby in Oakland wants to chime in here on 95.7 The Game. What's going on, Bobby? You're on with Spadoni and Lubman.
Bobby!
Hey, thanks for having me on. You guys are doing a great job, man.
Thank you, Bobby.
I enjoy listening.
Thanks, man.
For sure, man. You know what? I was on this Lauri Markkanen hype, and then I started asking my question. Danny Ainge's a shrewd operator. You got to watch this guy. Why did he not extend this guy the minute that he could? Well, I said, okay, let me look at his history, Lauri Markkanen. Every year, he's missed at the minimum 20 games, averages between 20 and 30 games missed. A lot of back injuries, hand injuries, leg injuries. Every year since he's been a rookie. And then you look at his scoring average, reality is really a 15 to 18 point scorer, although the last two seasons he had 23, 25 with Utah when the offense is running through him. You bring him over here and you lose the youngsters or whoever you're going to put in, the package, the draft picks, and you're going to look back and see if this guy cannot stay on the floor. I mean, best ability is availability, right? So I'm not down on him from a talent standpoint, because he is talented. But if he can't stay on the floor, he's going to be injured for every year. What's going to change by coming to the Warriors? And the fact that you really have to run the offense through him to really be the most effective. Steph is the big dog here, so you know that's not going to change. So I'm very weary of going after Markkanen, and I hope that the Warriors come to look at that. You can't trade a guy who's not going to stay on the floor. So I want to get you guys' thoughts on that.
Absolutely. I appreciate you chiming in, Bobby in Oakland. I mean, Lauri Markkanen, again, we are on Lauri Markkanen watch here at 95.7 The Game.
And a low-key Buddy Hield watch, too. We haven't really mentioned him at all.
That one was weird. That was just, they were in serious talks a couple nights ago. Maybe they're just doing, dotting the I's, crossing the T's, if you will.
Maybe they're off for the holiday.
Maybe. But Buddy Hield, the Warriors and Buddy Hield were in serious talks, and the Sixers, I should say, because that's where Buddy Hield currently is a part of. They were in serious talks, according to Shams Charania, of a sign and trade. So we're still waiting to see if that happens. Buddy Hield, by the way, talk about a guy that fans could turn on very quickly, who can get very hot and cold. That would be one Buddy Hield.
You're not my buddy guy.
Right, exactly. So we had Sarah Todd on yesterday, who covers the team. Sam, help me again, for
the Desert News in Salt Lake City.
Desert News, but is it the Deseret News? It's like
Desert, right? Because Salt Lake City's in a desert.
Well, I feel like I see Deseret News. Is it that one, or is it like an actual desert? There's two different ones. Maybe it's just one of them. No. It doesn't matter. Neither nor there. She covers the team. Is very tapped in. Sarah Todd joined Bonte and Chasky yesterday, and here's what she had to say about the haul it would take to get.
It is Deseret.
A Lauri Markkanen.
Man, it's going to really take a big haul. It is. I think if there is an offer, like if the Warriors come through with a big offer, the Jazz would get it done. But they're not going to hold back on it. Like they're not going to say like, oh, we'll settle for a deal, because they would like to have Lauri for a long time if they can.
They would like to have him for a long time if they can. So that's what also I was getting at too. Why would the Jazz do this? I guess like if he has one more year left on his deal, so you got to flip him now. Can you wait till the deadline? If he's hurt, how much is that? So I get there's layers to this, but I feel like he's a guy. How old is he? He's 27, right? Okay, so just turned 27, by the way. No, he's been in the league for sneaky long, since 2017.
Yeah.
He's been in the league, so 7 years now. He's been a part of the association out of Finland, obviously. He had some moments with the Chicago Bulls. Remember the Bulls? They had that spurt there where they had Markkanen, they had Lonzo Ball, they had all these young players kind of coming up through there. It's like, oh, wait, maybe they could be something. That Caruso, obviously, the Lakers didn't bring him back. Like, they had a moment where it's like, oh, I can see the vision. And then that all kind of just got thrown out the window. They kind of blew it up. And
as they've been known to do.
As they've been known to do since Jordan. And then Lauri went to Cleveland, and now he's with Utah. So it's been a mixed bag for him. He was the most improved player just a season ago. He was an all-star. So when you get the most improved, it basically means you outshot your expectations of what other people thought of you. It's not that you were bad. It's just like, oh, I didn't think Lauri Markkanen was going to be an all-star. Oh, I guess he's the most improved player. Stuff like that. But this notion that he's this savior for the Warriors, I think that's a little strong. He's a name, and I think we as fans love names. I love a Paul George. Oh, that's a name, right? Oh, Zach LaVine. At least he's a name. Hey, he's won a dunk contest. He's a name. Lauri Markkanen. Oh, it's
top 10 draft pick.
He's a European name, but he's a name. Like, that's what fans do. So you lost a big one in Klay Thompson, a Hall of Fame guy. You need to recoup that. Now, they've made some other transactions. I think that will help next year. They will make them a better team. D'Anthony Melton being one of them. Coming off a back injury, concerns me a little bit, but the high upside is there. You've got Kyle Anderson, who is a key contributor for a Western Conference Finals run with the Minnesota Timberwolves last year. I know Bob Fitzgerald is going to love him some slow-mo calls next year. And then we'll wait and see with Buddy Hield. Those would be some good moves that I think could get you back into a playoff, getting back into the playoff contention area. But this notion that Lauri Markkanen is going to be this guy that is going to be the second best player on a championship team, I don't see it. And if you do, let me know, 888-957-9570. I just don't see it.
No, I agree with you there. Like, if he's coming in to be like the fourth best scoring option, like, all right, now we're cooking here. But you're bringing him in, you're basically going to start him next to Steph and be like, you're the number 2, shooting option on this team. And in order to do that, we're going to have to give up Jonathan Kuminga. Like that. You're doing so much squeeze there, and you're getting so little juice in return.
How do you feel about Kuminga going forward, Sam? What do you think his high end is? Because I think a lot of Warriors fans see Jonathan Kuminga and say, you know what? I think Lauri Markkanen's a better player than him right now, and that may be true. I don't know how much better Kuminga could even be than a current Lauri Markkanen. So do you think what is his upside?
I feel like that's the big unknown with the Warriors right now, because it's been 3 years for Kuminga. He's just turned 21 years old. We've seen the flashes. I mean, there's the Portland game last year. He was kind of brought in at the end. It's like, oh, hey, you want playing time? Go get it. And then he went off on that game, and that was kind of the beginning of now you definitely can't trade this guy now. Remember when he went to the media, back last December and said, I'm tired of it here. He got his hair cut. Everyone thought, oh, this dude's gone. And he's still here. And the panic over him leaving was real. So how high, like if I set the over under at 2.5 All-Star games for Jonathan Kuminga, what are people picking there? I feel like if you really are holding on to, I feel like there's two ways to look out of this. If you are really hell-bent on holding on to Jonathan Kuminga, it's because you have this belief that when, like, the way we looked at Jordan Poole kind of take the reins from Steph one day, that responsibility is being passed on to Jonathan Kuminga. That when Steph retires one day, 3, 4, 5 years from now, Jonathan Kuminga, this organization will belong to you. You will be the centerpiece. You will be the face of this franchise. Is he good enough to be? Now, I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Steph. No one's going to be as good as Steph. But someone has to be the next guy. I mean, look at the Giants. They're struggling to find their next guy, and it's crippling them. So if you're in the camp that Kuminga is the next guy, you're telling people you can have Jonathan Kuminga when you prime for my cold dead fingers. The other way to look at it is if you don't see him as that face of the franchise type guy, but maybe you still see him as like a major contributing piece, then I think you're not going to clutch him, with your cold dead fingers, but you're still going to hold on to him until that deal comes along and you're just like, whoa, well, I'd be stupid to say no to that one. Paul George, was that the deal? The Warriors seemed intent on saying yes there. The Warriors seemed ready to say, hey, Jonathan Kuminga, go play for the Clippers for the next few years. We're going to deal with Paul George.
Well, here's what.
I don't think Lauri Markkanen or even Buddy Hield fits that bill of if you're not all the way up on Jonathan Kuminga, I still like Kuminga enough to where I'm not swapping him out for either of those two guys.
Fair enough. Sam Lubman on fire right now on July 4th. Shout out Fireworks, which I think are a little overrated. But then again, I'm in East Oakland and it's a damn war zone every single night.
Just be
over
careful
there.
you launch him off, people.
Yeah, please. Yeah, and don't do anything stupid.
Let's be able to count to 10 tomorrow.
Let's not have Jason Pierre-Paul action today. Let's go to Matt in Oakland. People are fired up about this. 888-957-9570. We're talking Klay moving on from the Warriors. Who's to blame? Is anyone to blame for that? And how do you feel about Klay Thompson wearing another team's jersey? We're talking Lauri Markkanen. How do you feel about giving up all your young assets, or at least some of them, plus future picks to go get that guy? Because that's what the reports are saying. It's going to take a haul. Let's go to